Hello, welcome to day 22 of your spelling practice. Today we are going to be talking about when to use ES at the end of a plural noun and also S. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to start off with me explaining the rule on when to use ES. So, when do we use ES? When we hear a plural noun. All right. We use ES when words end in digraph CH, SH, or do you remember the floss rule? So when words end in word things like SS or like ZZ. Sorry about my handwriting. Right? So like SSZZ, also too when things ended either X as well, or when they end in trigraph, TCH. This is when we use ES. All right. So you have to listen for those sounds. An example of a word that I can give you is the word watches. Okay. I hear a ch at the end of that word. So because I hear ch at the end, that implies that I'm going to use ES. Also, watches. ES also makes it sound is, is. So when we also hear that, then I can also know that I got to use ES. Watch. Watch. And remember, we use that TCH after a short vowel sound. Watch. Is. Guess what I'm going to use? ES. All right. So that's an example. Make sure you're writing this down as well as we're doing these practice words. This is a good way to help you remember. All right. Now let's go to X, right? So we did a word with TCH. Now let's do a word with X. Boxes. So we hear box, b, ah, but I hear is. Instead of putting an S, I'm not going to just put an S. I hear that is, so I know I need to use ES. And I also hear that sound. So I know if it ends in an X, I use ES. Now let's do ZZ, okay? When we think of ZZ, we're going to think of the word buzz, right? So we're going to go b, z. Buzz. You don't say buzz, you say buzzes, right? The bee buzzes loudly in my ear. So I'm going to put ES. All right. The next one is SS, right? So, like in the word floss, flosses. She flosses her teeth every night. It's a plural. So SS. And guess what I'm going to put? ES. All right. Now let's do dishes together. What do we hear at the end of that word? We hear a sh sound. All right. So that indicates that I'm going to be using that SH, right? That SH says shh. All right. All right. Now we're going to go d ish dishes. ES. Okay. Now, when you hear a S at the end of a word. Okay. You will hear the s sound only, like so. This is ES. So, but when we do S, all right. Oops, sorry, I'm writing in my highlighter. I was like, why is it so light? All right. I can get my pencil. S. Okie dokie. S we use after like those CVC words like kid, kit. Anything that doesn't end in like this or a Y, we're going to use S instead. So watch. Cats, cats, pencils, because it ends in that ooh. So I know I'm just going to use an S if I'm talking about more than one pencil. Pen, put in, it's two-syllable word. So we spell pen and then soul. We're going to use a C this time. And guess what we got to put beside that C to make it have that sound? Eh, ooh, that I, all right? And then that L. And then we're going to put an S at the end to make that pencils. All right. So you're going to practice this. You're going to practice knowing when to use that S or when to use that ES. So I'm going to give you a couple words that you can do as practice. All right. So the first one I'm going to give you is foxes. Pause the video so that way you can take time to write the word. The next word that I am going to give you. Are you ready? The next word is going to be rats. You can pause the video so we can keep going on. The next word that I'm going to give you is glasses. The next word that I'm going to give you is wishes. The next word I'm going to give you is facts. And then the last word that I want to give you is flowers. Flowers. Okie dokie. Happy spelling. And make sure your parents check. And if it has more than one syllable, make sure you're using your lines to make sure you're putting those syllables together. Okie dokie. Use your techniques from the previous video to help you. All right, everybody. See ya.